Ladies and gentlemen, I gave an introductory speech about 3D printing and I'd like to now continue on the same topic. So when did 3D printing first come about? Well, it was actually in the early 80s that this technique was first used. The first 3D printer is said to have been in operation in 1984, and there were maybe a few prototypes before that. There were several different people competing for competing to produce the first 3D printer at the time, so it's somewhat unclear as to who exactly was the first person to ever use a 3D printer. But nevertheless, this is a technology which we may think is very innovative right now, but and maybe you've only heard about it in the last couple of years, but actually it has existed for some time, or at least the ideas and the ideas have been developed for some time. Nowadays, as I was saying in the previous speech, there are many techniques which are being developed in order to improve 3D printing. Also, we're seeing that prices for buying a 3D printer are dropping considerably, and therefore more people are becoming interested, more people are buying 3D printers, and then these people themselves have their own ideas for how to improve 3D printing. There are many people who are enthusiasts about this new practice. There are many people who are keen to have a go and try and make their own creations with a 3D printer. But unfortunately, the techniques are not very well refined yet, and just now on the internet I was looking at a gallery of images on BBC News of someone who tried to create a number of different sculptures, as it were, out of plastic with his 3D printer. And on many occasions the technique simply did not work. It's something which requires a lot of tweaking, a lot of refining, so it's not as hard, it's not as easy as it may seem. There are also many businesses nowadays who are investing in 3D printing, and this is moving the phenomenon forward as well. Lots of people experimenting, lots of small startups that are now trying to find their niche in the market. As a matter of fact, many people are saying that these developments are moving along at such a pace that one day there will be a 3D printer in everybody's household. This would mean that if one day you're doing DIY at home, you're maybe installing a new radiator, you suddenly realise that you've bought the pipes, you've bought the radiator itself, but you don't have the right spanner, or you don't have the right screwdriver to actually finish the job. And so what do? Well, you go to your 3D printer, you download a design off the internet for the spanner that you need, and you press print. As long as you have the right materials in the printer, then you're away. You've got your new spanner in a matter of minutes. The idea is that you don't even necessarily need to know the shape of the object that you need to print out. That maybe one day there will be so many designs on the internet that you can simply download that it will mean that it's just a matter of searching on a search engine. This means that 3D printing would actually work out very cheap for the average consumer. This is because the 3D printer itself might cost a lot of money, and the equivalent to ink or the cartridges might cost a lot of money. But if you consider all of the different products or everyday objects that you can make with a 3D printer, then the fact that these are simply free because you can download the design, or rather the design is free because you can just download it from the internet, this means that ultimately that your costs will be very low. It means that you can make a whole range of objects all from the comfort of your own home and at a very low cost. What's more, the designs, as I was saying, the designs that you can download off a website, they would in many cases be license free. There are many people who want to promote open source designs for 3D printers, and this means that there are no royalties charged for the design, and this reduces costs further. So I gave you the example just now of making a spanner, and I gave this example because I was looking at a few videos online and I saw a spanner being made. But you can already, with the technology we have available, make a whole host of different objects with 3D printers. You could make a tea mug to parts for industrial machinery, and there are a wide range of different areas which are being investigated and researched at the moment. For example, the field of dentistry. At the moment, if you have a hole or a cavity in your teeth, then you can go to the dentist, and there are many complicated methods that your dentist will use in order to find a filling that will fit the right size for the cavity. However, with 3D printing, it could be as simple as taking a mold of the cavity you have, uploading that onto a computer, and then receiving your filling in a matter of minutes maybe. So that would make the work of a dentist a great deal easier. There are even plans, well, speaking of health services, there are even plans now to print human organs using 3D printers. Now this is quite astounding, quite something which is very surprising, maybe a little scary even, but there are indeed plans to do this. Now just imagine what it would be like to have a tailor-made liver if your liver stops working one day, or maybe even a heart which is made to measure, to fit your body. There are a whole host of different advantages, therefore, of 3D printing. These are advantages which we're seeing now and that we will continue to see in the future. Now, in the next speech on this same topic, I'll go into those advantages in more detail. Thank you.